Hello friends, hope you are doing great. Today we are going to see the basic introduction of SAP MM module. Now moving to the first slide, why ERP? Before ERP we had MRP, but ERP is nothing but enterprise resource planning. It mainly used to plan their resource for the organization. For example, how the HR team can plan their manpower for the organization, how the procurement team can plan the material for their organization. So before ERP, we had MRP, and each department they had used their own software, which is not integrated with other module. Due to that, they had faced lot of issues. To avoid that, the ERP has come in. After ERP, it has been tightly integrated. So you can see the screens. So that is the reason the ERP has defined. So after ERP, no, it has been tightly integrated across all the functions, and each module or team can come to know what is happening in other areas. Moving to the list of ERP softwares, we have a n number of ERP softwares in the global market, and SAP is the market leader. We have around 162 plus modules in SAP, and we can run the entire business functionalities using single ERP package. It is multilingual and multi-currency also being used. For example, PeopleSoft and Ramco systems also a ERP software, but it can be used only for the HR related and payroll related activities. Moving to the history, System Application Product in Data Processing is an abbreviation for SAP. It has been coined in 1972 by 5 former IBM employees. As I told earlier, it's mainly focusing on ERP package. It's built around three-tier architecture. So normally the people used to call SAP's R3 functionality. R3 is nothing but three-tier architecture. We have a presentation layer, we have application layer, and we have a database. We'll take the data from the database, do the application, and present to the users. Moving to system landscape. So normally we have a three servers: development server, quality server, and production server. Development server will be used to do the configuration or do the enhancement based on the business requirement. Once it is completed, it will move to quality system to do the full round of testing. Once it is found okay, then we can move the changes to production system. So we should not do any requirement, any changes directly in production server, which will affect the parallelly running process. So the development team will have a development access, the core teams or testing teams will have a quality system access, and the end users will have a production system access. So these are the major areas in SAP modules. So these are the various SAP modules. Here I am going to talk about the logistics modules. We have materials management, sales and distribution, warehouse management, production planning, plant maintenance. As I told earlier, all put together we have around 162 plus modules to run the business. So this finance module is tightly integrated with all other modules. Moving to SAP flow tree, any module if you go for, it should have a org structure, it should have a master data, it should have a transaction data. So all these three elements can be viewed separately as a report. Now we are going to talk about procurement to pay flow. We used to call it as P2P cycle. So we should have a MM structure, the MM related master data to be properly maintained. Then we can go for the transaction data. So the procurement cycle, inventory management and invoice verification, we call it as a transaction data. So these slides talk about org structure. MM we have a three org elements. One is plant, storage location and purchase organization. The plant is nothing but not only a manufacturing plant, it could be a warehouse, it could be a distribution center, it could be a sales office, it could be a brand stores or company showrooms, whatever it is. So each plant will have a unique purchase organization or it will have a centralized purchase organizations also. So each plant will have a storage locations to store their material. So a raw material can be stored in one location, semi-finished material can be stored in one location, or finished material can be stored in one location to segregate the storage of the material at the particular storage location level. Moving to next slide. So as I told earlier, this is a uh, each a plant will have a purchasing organization. So one to one combination. Similarly, we have a centralized purchase organization combination also. So you see here, like all four plants are mapped with one purchase organization, whereas here one plant mapped with one purchase organization. Moving to list of master data. For MM, we have four types of masters: material master, vendor master, source list, and info record. The upcoming slides, we will have a detail about material data, vendor data, source list, and info records. Moving to transaction data. So this procurement cycle, inventory management, and invoice verification. These are the transaction data we are using in MM module. So this is the procurement cycle. The procurement cycle process starts with purchase requisition. Once the purchase requisition is created, that will be converted into RFQ. RFQ is nothing but request for quotation. Once the RFQ is created, it will be converted to quotation. It will send across multiple vendors to get their quote. Based on their quote, we'll finalize. Once we finalize the vendor, we'll go for a purchase order and or scheduling agreement. These are the inventory management transactions. Under inventory management, we have a goods receipt process, we have a goods issue process, transfer posting between one plant to another plant or one location to another location transfer process, stock type transfer process, reservation, rejection, physical inventory, and vendor returns. Moving to invoice verification. So under invoice verification, we have a credit memo, we have a subsequent credit, we have subsequent debit process and invoice process. So moving to procurement to pay cycle, this screen talks about the complete P2P cycle. The procurement cycle starts from where and ends at where. So the process will start from PR, purchase requisition creation. It will go for approval. Once the superior approved the PR, it will be converted into RFQ. Once the RFQ is created, it will share to the multiple vendors. Against that, they will quote their price. That price will be maintained in the system separately by using some transactions. Once it is maintained, it can be compared. Once it's compared, so we will be in the position to create PO or scheduling agreement. Once the PO is created, it will go for approval. Once it is released, we can issue the PO copy to the vendor. Against the PO copy, they will supply the material. Once it is reached our gate, we will be in the position to receive the material. So once we receive, we do the goods receipt process in the system. If we enable the quality inspection process, the quality team will do the quality inspection. Based on the test result, the material will accept or reject. If it is accepted, it will move. It will be treated as an unrestricted stock. It can be used for production or selling some other purpose. If it is not accepted, if it is failed during the rejection, I mean quality inspection, it can be returned to vendor. So whatever we have received, so for that we need to initiate the payment to vendor. That will happen through invoice receipt process. That's all. This is a brief overview about the imam structure. We'll see it in the next video. We'll see it in the next video. Thank you.